in Bunbury for many, many years, 40 or 50 I suppose, and I'm here to oppose the rate rise that is suggested, I understand, because things are tough out there. Maybe you haven't heard, but I'm sure you have heard, things are tough. And I don't think now is the time to increase rates on households as well as businesses. And I speak to quite a few businesses. I was out one the other day out at Halifax, and he tells me half of Halifax is closed. I don't think that's right, but certainly there is businesses, he was telling me the one across the road has just closed up in the last few days. Household budgets are under a lot of pressure these days with the way things are. Mortgagee sales are up. I've seen today's paper again, there's one in Whitnum Street. Mortgagee sale. These aren't new, but they seem to be increasing, and it's cost. And of course, the banks are bringing interest rates down for that very reason, to try and keep the thing going. And it's not only Bunbury, but it's whole, it's West Australia, if you like, right now. Increasing competition, of course, for shop owners, as I understand, is in Eaton, Millbridge, Ostran, the new one at Dalyellup, which we go to while I'm getting my new house put up in Cook Street. And, they're getting very attractive, and I do congratulate the council on doing something about meters around the town, these parking meters. I think we should get rid of them. We won't talk about that tonight. But the cost of money for the council was down, and your wages costs haven't gone up, I wouldn't think very much. I mean, they're talking inflation about just over 1%, 1.2, 3, 4, whatever it may be. In West Australia, we've had a series of these downturns that's hit West Australia harder than anywhere else. Inflation is low and great, and wage growth is very low. Kalgoorlie's got a 0% increase this year, I understand, and some city councils are the same. Now, if you, say, took an average of 3% over the last 10 years, so it's a 30% increase over 10 years, I don't know whether it's right, I wouldn't mind betting it's pretty close to it. All I'm saying is wages haven't gone up 30%, business profits haven't gone up 30%, and I ask that you really look at it, because it's another thing. The banks bring rates down, so just give the consumer a little bit more money. The next thing, the council come along and whip it out of their pocket. Mr Mayor, I appreciate that I can come here tonight and speak to you and your councillors, and I ask you to give it due consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Ingraham. Mr Scafidi. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr Mayor and councillors. I'd just like to more or less say what Chris has said. I believe that CBD, there's around 60 vacancies at the moment, and the increase, the rental prices has decreased the last couple of years, and people are giving big incentives like 12 months, up to 12 months rent-free. And I think we need to have a look at those issues, what is really happening in Bunbury, and it's happening everywhere. But property prices in the CBD are down about 30%, and that's a big decrease in values. The CBD needs support. What's happening in the outer Bunbury area is fantastic, great. It'll be good for Bunbury, but I still think that CBD itself needs some sort of improvement. And one of the most iconic things in the area, I reckon, is Baltus Heights. And if that was highlighted, it'll bring a lot of people back into the CBD. It's one of those things, I'm a property owner around the place, and it's very hard to get people to stay and get involved. You've got to give incentives and bring the rent down and all those sort of things. One of the other things that has been an improvement is the 2-hour free parking in Bunbury, and that's made a big difference to people, shop owners and all that sort of thing. That has got to going, because unless we have those sort of initiatives in the area, we are going to be in deeper trouble. I just thank you.
Thank you. Councillor, I'll bring your attention to 7.1. There's a number of decisions here that require an absolute majority, which is 7. So can I invite a mover for recommendation 1 and 2? So 1, which is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Councillor Hayward, Councillor Cook. Any debate? I'll put it all in favour. Those against? Councillor 1's against. That's carried by an absolute majority. So Councillor Steele is against. The rest were in favour. Item 2, refuse collection. Recommendations 1 all the way through to 1.11.2. Councillor Cook moves. Councillor McCleary seconds. Any debate? I'll put it all in favour. Those against? It's carried unanimously. Thank you. Number 3, which is the proposed loan borrowings and the overdraft. Recommendation is there 1 and 2. Can I have someone move that, please? Councillor McCleary, seconder. Councillor Hayward, any debate? I'll put it all in favour, please indicate. That's carried unanimously, thank you. Item 4, all the way down to number 2, 1.26 Withers, and then the trust funds. Can someone move item 4, please? Thank you, Councillor Hayward, Councillor Cook. Any debate? I'll put it all in favour. That's carried by an absolute. That's carried unanimously. Thank you. Number 5, the due dates for payment. Recommendation 1 to 4. There. Someone prepared to move that? Councillor McCleary, seconder. Councillor Cook. Any debate?
Question.
Yep.
I wasn't actually printed off one of these, so I don't actually have a copy of this. Can I ask, are the people having to pay extra if they go quarterly, and by how much?
Yes, I'll ask the CEO to respond to that.
Through Mr. Mayor, I might request the Manager of Finance address that.
Thanks, Mr. Ranson.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. If the payments are in line with the payments of the instalment plan, then there is no extra charge.
Thank you. Any debate? I'll put it all in favour. That's carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 6, 1 to 5. Someone prepared to move that? Councillor Cook, second up. Councillor McCleary, any debate? I'll put it all in favour. Those against? That's carried by 1 against, which is Councillor Steele. So that's carried by an absolute majority. Thank you. Item 7, the waivers and concessions. 1 and 2. Someone prepared to move? Councillor Cook, Councillor McCleary. Any debate? I'll put it all in favour. That's carried unanimously. Item 8, schedule of fees and charges. Prepared to move that one? Councillor McCleary, seconded Councillor Cook. Any debate? I'll put it all in favour. It's carried unanimously. Item 9. Someone prepared to move that? Meeting fees and allowances. Councillor Cook, second up. Councillor Hayward, any debate? I'll put it all in favour. That's carried unanimously. Thank you. Item 10. Any material variances? Someone prepared to move that? Councillor Cook, Councillor Hayward, any debate? I'll put it all in favour. That's carried unanimously. Thank you. And then item 11, road exemptions. Someone prepared to move that one? Councillor Hayward, Councillor Cook, any debate? I'll put it all in favour. That's carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. I just want to record appreciation of every elected member, all the staff that have worked on the budget. That's everybody in the organisation. I think it's been an outstanding effort. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated, and I declare this meeting closed at 6:11 p.m. And council, just a reminder, if you want a quick break, we'll come back and resume our ordinary council meeting.